defense. I mean, Falk is obviously committed to FSU. I mean, he's remarkable on that side of the ball.
So for Isabella, the season ends tonight. I know that's one of the teams you guys cover there, WKLF. What's next for them? What they got coming back? What do they look like for 23?
Well, Isabella only has about 4 seniors on that team, and that was a team that went 8-2, and their only 2 losses in the region were to B.B. Comer and Vincent. So that kind of tells you what kind of team they had, even though they only had about 4 seniors. So they've got just about all of that team coming back next year, and we feel like that Isabella probably will pick up in 23 where they left off in 22. They should be in real good shape next year.
Zach Bates joining us, WKLF in Clanton, Alabama. The final tonight, Highland home, 29, Isabella 21. Zach, thank you so much for the time. We'll catch up with you later, my friend.
All right, thanks, JJ. We appreciate it.
All right. Highland home's been very good all year, and they're kind of one of those teams to watch in that 2A South, right?
You got the Falk brothers. They're very good. One of them's going to Florida State. No telling where the younger one will end up eventually. I do have a late submission to game of the week.
Yeah.
IMG Academy defeated West Toronto 96-0. The game was called at halftime.
At halftime?
At halftime.
Okay.
That is a legit, real score. 96-0 game called at halftime. Bishop Sycamore put up a better fight than that.
Is this Toronto school? I was going to say, is this one of these like they're fictional and they just?
Boy, they'd have to be fictional, mythical. I mean, it's hard to be 96-0 bad, isn't it?
It's hard to do that against air.
I mean, it really is. 96 points and a half.
Well, I guess.
How do you have enough time to get the ball back to score that often?
Yeah. You would think. I mean, if you're the team getting beat that bad, don't you start taking a knee in the second quarter and running?
Boy, I tell you, I guess they must have had a hockey game to get to or something because they called that one off early.
Thanks to Zach Bates and all of our guests join us on the Southeastern Land Group hotline presented by Southeastern Land Group. Whether you're buying or selling rural land in the Southeast, Southeastern Land Group is the place to start. Visit them online at selandgroup.com. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to talk to a friend of yours, James Verrett. I know you just spent like 4 hours with him.
I did spend a lot of time with him.
We're going to talk to him here in just a bit. Right now, it is time for Scores on the Fours. It's brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Luke, why don't we get into the 2A bracket? You take the South, I'll take the North.
All right, on the South bracket, it was B.B. Comer 45, Lynette 20. J.U. Blackshear, they go down to Wicksburg. Wicksburg takes it 34-7. It was Reeltown over Thorsby, 49-6. G.W. Long defeats St. Luke's, 19-16. Ayrton, they put it on Chickasaw tonight, 61-22. As we just told you, Highland home takes care of Isabella, 29-21. Clark County, 27, Cottonwood 7. And finally, in a good one, Vincent 36, Luverne 35.
All right, taking a look at 2A, the North bracket now. Lexington defeats North Sand Mountain, 49-14. It was Tuscaloosa Academy over 42-28 over Locust Fork. So we'll get Lexington and Tuscaloosa Academy next week. Fife, Paul Benefield and the guys. What do you think they did?
I think they won.
They won. They tend to do that. 55-8 over Red Bay. It was Cleveland tonight. They get upset at home by Winston County. Final score there, 50-14. It was Southeastern over Lamar County. Final there, 16-7. Pisgah over Hatton. Final score 40-20. Aliceville defeats West End by a final of 62-13, and Falkville defeats Collinsville by a final of 42-7. That is your 2A brackets, and that is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. They're available in stores. 90-year-old family recipe, absolutely delicious. Try the hula pickle. I say it every week. It's phenomenal. Coming up here in just a couple of minutes, we'll talk to James Verrett. He called the AHSAA TV network, WOTM TV Game of the Week, with this guy next to me tonight, Hueytown and Benjamin Russell. That's coming up next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Kia of Auburn is excited it's November, and we have a lot to be thankful for. Our inventory is growing daily, so you have a lot to choose from. The new 2023 Kia Telluride is now on our lot. The 2023 Kia Telluride has that head-turning wow factor with its bold good looks and equipped with a long list of standard features. Shop us in person at 1687 South College or anytime online at KiaofAuburn.com. Kia of Auburn, where you are always number one.
Hey guys, this is Tyler Reynolds from Reynolds Outdoors. The seasons change and so do our product offerings. We are happy to announce that we are now a full-line archery dealer with popular brand names like Matthews, Bowtech, PSE, and a full line of accessories to go with them. We still have our great selection of firearms, ammo, apparel, and more to get you ready for the season. And did you know we have the biggest selection of box blinds in Alabama? We have everything you need for a successful fall in the woods. Y'all come see us at Reynolds Outdoors on Geneva Street in Opelika or check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dadeville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Dadeville is home to Lake Martin Community Hospital and Lake Martin Family Medicine, both a division of Ivy Creek Healthcare, with great physicians, nurse practitioners, and nurses who provide extraordinary, compassionate care for Dadeville and surrounding Lake Martin areas. Medicaid, Medicare, and most private insurances are welcome. For your home health and hospice needs, you may also use Ivy Creek Home Health and Ivy Creek Hospice. Ivy Creek, always providing quality care in the communities our patients call home.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need three things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually four. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Luke with you as we get close to 11 o'clock here in this first round of the AHSAA playoffs. Normally, the AHSAA TV Network WOTM TV Game of the Week is played on Thursday night. We record a reaction to it on Friday morning and air that for you at this time. But the game was live tonight. James Verrett joins us. He was play-by-play tonight, along with Luke Robinson here for the AHSAA TV Network WOTM Game of the Week. Hueytown and Benjamin Russell. And, James, I watched most of this game on your broadcast, and there was a point there, highly entertaining game. Benjamin Russell scores to take a lead early third. And from there, it seemed like Earl Woods just almost took that game over.
No doubt about it. It seems as though he was taken aback the fact that Benjamin Russell was beating him in his own house. And then at that point, he did a Floyd Mayweather situation and just outboxed the Wildcats for the rest of the game by putting up 28 points in a quarter and a half. And they just completely demolished them from the third quarter on. Now, I have to give Benjamin Russell credit. For about 2.5 quarters, they were playing with the state finalists of last season, and they really, at some certain points, playing better football than them. But after they got the lead, as you said, Mr. Football, Mr. Earl Woods, just looked like he put the team on his back and took over.
Yeah, I thought Earl Woods was absolutely amazing and certainly lived up to the billing of being Gatorade Player of the Year. I boy, I don't know if I can put into words well enough to describe the way Corey Milner had 2 effort plays on consecutive drives on the defensive side. So I'll let you just describe it.
Well, all I can say is if Corey Milner's family is watching or listening, they just need to put those highlights on his highlight tape and send them to everywhere. Because basically you're a 6'3", 175-pound guy who can walk down anybody on the field from anywhere on the field. I think there's a college that'll be looking for you soon. He definitely had the most outstanding individual performance of the night. He caught a touchdown pass. He had a few tackles, and also he walked down 2 of the faster Hueytown running backs and had touchdown-saving tackles in the first half. So definitely that young man may have played his way into a college career.
James, let me ask you about the contrast in the 2 teams, and I may be making too much of this, and you can tell me if I am, that's fine. In the fourth quarter, saw a lot of cramping on Benjamin Russell's team, and all I could think about was Hueytown is led by the reigning Mr. Football. They were in the state championship game last year. They're battle-tested and playoff-tested. Benjamin Russell is a young team, but it's a young team that nobody has played in a playoff game before. Playoff intensity is different than regular season intensity. Playoff games are tougher than regular season games. Did Benjamin Russell's lack of playoff experience catch up to him a little bit in that second half? And Hueytown's experience in the playoffs catch up to him in the second half?
No doubt about it. Hueytown, and particularly because of the region in which they're in, they have to be prepared and built to play into late November and possibly December. So you train to do that. Benjamin Russell is back on that stage, but it's been a few years since they made it to the state semifinals. I think it was in 2015. So for the players on this squad, they really have never played that many football games. Plus, you add the fact that we had unseasonably warm weather this week, and I don't think a lot of those guys may have heeded the words of their coaches and hydrated the night before and ate the right foods so that they could be prepared for the type of intensity that they had to deal with tonight.
James, great job on the broadcast. The AHSAA TV Network WOTM TV Game of the Week. Hueytown 56, Benjamin Russell 28. Thank you for the time, James.
All right, thanks so much. And I think Star Wars will be calling you guys for JJ and Luke show.
Somebody will. All right, thank you, James. Let's get the scores on the 4s. Luke, 1A South.
1A South bracket, Maplesville 55, RC Hatch 8. It was Leroy defeating Georgiana 47-12. Linden over Otagoville 34-0. Brantley defeats Choctaw County 39-3. Elba takes care of Southern Choctaw 42-20. Sweetwater 48 and Verbena 8. Milry 55, Florala 7. And finally, Lochapoka defeats Keith 28-24.
We talked about earlier, we've seen some upsets tonight, most notably, of course, Parker knocking off Clay Chalkwell in 6A. In 1A, every home team won except one, and that happened in the 1A North bracket. Let me write it down. Meek, they defend their home court, 46-6 over Cedar Bluff. It was Pickens County over Wadley, final there 34-15. Valley Head defeats Phillips, final of 61-20. And here's the one home team in 1A, or one home team in anybody, in 1A that lost. It was Raglan. Marion County gets the win, 59-22. Spring Garden defeats South Lamar, 35-7. Coosa Christian over Hackleburg, 51-8. Lynn shuts out Donahoe, 42-0. And Addison defeats Appalachian by a final of 66-22. That is your 1A bracket. Scores on the 4s is brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles with a 90-year-old family recipe. They're available in stores. Go check them out. You're going to love them. Coming up in just a few, our recruiting segment, Jason Caldwell joins us from Auburn 24/7 Sports. We'll find out what he did on this first round of playoff night here in high school football at Alabama. That's up next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Serving East Central Alabama since 2005, we are Coosa Valley Respiratory and Home Medical of Sylacauga. Coosa Valley Respiratory has medical equipment and supplies, including oxygen-to-home ventilation services. We carry a full line of bracing, power chairs, scooters, and more. And when you trust Coosa Valley Respiratory, you are dealing with local people that care about your well-being. Providing quality home care for our community, Coosa Valley Respiratory and Home Medical, 201 West Fort William, Sylacauga. Give us a call at 256-245-1411.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
The all-new Triple R Cafe in Rockford is open and the place for true Southern-style cooking. Open Tuesday through Saturday in downtown Rockford on US 231. The Triple R Cafe serves up true Southern cooking with a meat and 3 for lunch. And on Friday and Saturday, get the best dinners in the area with fresh from the garden vegetables. Gulf-style scallops and shrimp, and Bayou-style alligator. Central Alabama's new place for Southern-style cooking with a down-home atmosphere. That's the all-new Triple R Cafe in downtown Rockford.
At Glenn Smith in Opelika, we're loaded with trucks, and more trucks. We have over 100 new Chevy and GM trucks on the ground and on the way. New Chevrolet Silverados up to $7,000 off. GMC Sierras up to $7,500 off. Are you ready for your new Chevy or GMC truck? We've got them with no payments till springtime at Glenn Smith in Opelika.
Shop online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Luke with you as we have now crossed into the 11 o'clock hour. Let's bring in Jason Caldwell from Auburn 24/7 Sports and talk a little recruiting. Jason, hope you're doing well, my friend.
Yeah, I'm doing good, guys.
So let's talk a little bit about some of these games and some of the recruits in these games. Clay Chalkville and Parker, I mean, boy, it's one thing to beat Clay Chalkville. To hold them to 6 points? What in the world?
Yeah, it's this Parker team is really interesting when you look at them, and it's a game that I almost went to. If this game hadn't been such a travel game for me, I probably would have, because Khalifa Keith is a big physical running back, really good player for Parker. Is committed to Kentucky. Naeem Alford is a sophomore DB, good player, made a couple of plays tonight, and Jeremiah Beeman is 6'4", 250-pound junior defensive lineman that's got offers. And so this is a team that has some players, and and they got a taste of it last year. But you look at them, and defensively, obviously, if you can get up there and make some plays with 4 or 5 guys and don't have to blitz, and you can cover some of those receivers with a couple of guys, it obviously that they played a whale of a football game to hold that Clay Chalkville offense to just 6 points, and huge moment for Parker.
Yeah, and then I got to bring up this St. Paul shutting out Carver 13-0. I know Carver played without their starting running back and starting quarterback. I understand that. But, man, I mean, when you've got James Smith and Quay Russell, it's hard to believe that anybody can score on you at all.
Yeah, well, the problem is that, they were such a key to them, the quarterback, running back. And, he had 34 touchdown passes this year, and you take him out of the equation, take a running back out of the equation that's been really good this season. And you don't have any offense. They have some issues in the kicking game at times this year when I've seen them. And so, when you start punting the ball back and, doing some of those things, it just becomes an impossibility. And so, it's unfortunate to see those guys, that career end like that after such a strong season for them. Hated for them, but they got a lot of football ahead of their future.
Jason, I have an Auburn-related question I want to ask you real quick. With you covering recruiting for Auburn 24/7 Sports, with what's going on in Auburn now with the coaching change, and we're in November, you've got a signing day coming up in December. The current staff, do they tell an uncommitted player, hey, I'm not asking you to commit to me today because I know there's uncertainty. I'm just saying don't commit anywhere else. Wait and see what we do. Is that the pitch right now?
Yeah, you can just keep recruiting, because there'll be guys that say, hey, I want to go to Auburn no matter who it is.
Right.
Most of the guys are going to wait, and so you basically say, hey, look, they're going to get this thing right. We're going to hire the right guys. And you hear sometimes players will go, hey, hopefully they'll keep this assistant coach. When you think about, Cadillac and having a guy like Jeremiah Cobb committed, obviously, Zach Etheridge, but, you think about Quay Rusall, a guy like Rock Bellantoni, those position coaches become important. So you just keep those lines of communication open, try to get them back on campus again, next weekend for the Texas A&M game. And, so it's about going, hey, just hold off. Let's see what happens here and keep giving us an opportunity. So that's really the selling point right now.
Finally, I don't know if you heard the news, absolute shocker involving IMG. They only win 96-0, and the game's called off at the half against West Toronto. Is there anybody at IMG that Alabama and Auburn need to be familiar with?
Yeah, they got a bunch of guys. I saw them play Central, Phoenix City early this season, and there's guys. I mean, they're all over the field again. This is a team that they have no business playing. Obviously, it's 96-0 at halftime. I think that team had scored 7 points this year, so it's an embarrassment. Obviously, similar to what we saw a few years ago when they basically played that made-up team, Bishop Sycamore. It's the same thing. But no, IMG Academy loaded. A lot of players all over the field. They're not as good as they have been in the past, but you're still talking about a roster that has probably 30 to 35 SEC caliber players on it for a high school team. There's guys all over the place, and you'll see them well represented, when Under Armour game and the All-American game take place here in a few months.
I'm sure. Jason Caldwell, Auburn 24/7 Sports, thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Jason.
All right, let's get to scores on the fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles, AHSAA playoffs. Luke?
All right, Class AAA bracket. Lee Scott, the number 1 seed, they had a bye. So they play the winner of Valiant versus Monroe, and Valiant comes out on top. They win 30-20. Glenwood also had a bye, and they face the winner of Morgan Autauga, and that will be Morgan. They take out Autauga 40-30. So next week it'll be Glenwood and Morgan, and Lee Scott and Valiant.
All right, in the 2A bracket, it was Chambers over Escambia, 56-12. They'll face Clark Prep, who defeated Macon East 35-14. Patrician defeats Abbeville 55-13, so they'll move forward and face Edgewood, who defeated Banks by a final of 14-7. In the AISA 1A bracket, it was Lowndes over Snook 68-12, so Lowndes moves forward. They will play Southern, who went on the road and defeated South Choctaw by a final of 21-14. Lakeside goes on the road to Jackson and blows Jackson out 58-0 in that one. Lakeside moves on. They'll face Crenshaw, who defeated Wilcox 32-6. And that's your AISA brackets, and that is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. When we come back, we'll talk about one of the best games of the night, 35-30 the final, Homewood over McAdory. Seth Holloway of the Cutoff News joins us next on the AHSAA Radio Network. It's time for another edition of This Week in the AHSAA. News and notes from around Alabama high school athletics. Brought to you by Jacksonville State University. The North-South All-Star squads for the 64th AHSAA North-South All-Star football game to be played at Mobile's Hancock-Whitney Stadium on December 16th have been selected. Among the players is North All-Star quarterback Jack Hayes of defending Class 3A state champion Piedmont, who became the AHSAA's all-time leading passer this season. Joining Hayes, a two-time Super 7 Class 3A state finals MVP, on the North squad is quarterback Giovanni Lopez of Class 7A James Clemens. South quarterbacks selected are Caden Creel of Class 7A Fairhope and Clyde Pittman of Class 7A Auburn. The South holds a 32-30-2 edge in the series. And that's This Week in the AHSAA. News and notes from around Alabama high school athletics. Brought to you by Jacksonville State University on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Not long ago, when you or your family needed medical care, your options for treatments were limited. You could wait a week before seeing a doctor or shell out hundreds of dollars for an emergency room visit. At Main Street Family Care, we are committed to helping you heal better and feel better fast. Main Street Family Care works hard to make sure you don't have to leave town to take care of your health.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Encore Sports Medicine.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. As we go back to the Southeastern Land Group hotline now, we're going to talk to Seth Holloway of the Cutoff News and thecutoffnews.com, where, Seth, high school playoff season, election season, the small town newspaper continues to roll. You went with McAdory to Homewood tonight and really had one of the better games. Homewood gets the win 35-30.
Yes, it was. Actually, it was a very good game. McAdory come off in the first possession with a running touchdown from Peyton Ryans, and that made it 7-0. But Homewood answered right back to tie the game. And then McAdory fumbled the ball. Homewood picked it up and went ahead 14-7. So we finished that first quarter 14-7. But then McAdory just came right back and answered with a passing touchdown to Tavarius Coles to make it 14-14. And then Homewood rolled in, made it 21-14. But then with 21 seconds left in the first half, Aaron Billingsley caught a pass from McAdory and tied it up 21-21 at the halftime. And the place was explosive. McAdory's fans were packed. Homewood Stadium was packed. It was just electric, And then Homewood came out in the middle of the third quarter and scored 28-21, and ended the third quarter with a score 28-21. McAdory came down close in the middle of the fourth quarter, and but they kicked a field goal to make it 28-24. But then right on the next possession, in the second play of the next possession, Homewood answered back to make it 35-24. And then with 5 minutes left on the clock, here's the clincher. With 5 minutes left on the clock, McAdory came down, and Roderick Thomas ran it in to make it 35-30. McAdory went for the two-point conversion, did not make it. Homewood got the ball back. They ran it down, ran the clock down, and they got the win. the star of the game for Homewood was, and I'm hoping I pronounced the name right, is Mandrell. He had 4 touchdowns, their running back. He did a really good job. But McAdory looked pretty explosive from the middle of the season. You know, they started off real hot, real strong, and then when they got to that Hueytown game, they kind of went down. But then they came back at the end of the season, and they were looking pretty strong there tonight too. So,
What do you think about Homewood's chances going forward? Do you feel like this is a team that can make a move in the playoffs?
Yeah, I do. They're playing. I think I looked it up. But they're playing Pike Road.
They're playing Pike
in
Road,
the
yeah.
next round, and Pike Road's going to be a stubborn one for them to get by. That's all I got to say. You know, I believe it's Pike Road, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look to see who they were playing.
Yeah, it's Pike Road. Pike Road was down 21-10 to Spanish Fort, came back and won the game 22-21. So, yeah, it's Pike Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Pike Road.
Wow. Yeah, Homewood looked pretty impressive. Their quarterback, Ray Woods, he had 180 yards on the night and one touchdown, but one passing touchdown, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns. And then and he had 118 yards rushing. But their Mondrell Odell, I think is the name, number 4 for Homewood. He is just a bruiser of a runner. They would put him in the line, and he was just able to punch it in every time. I mean, if they could get down in the red zone, he was able to put it in. But I think they might. But Pike Road, like I said, you know, I remember watching Pike Road last year in the playoff game, I mean, in the championship game. And Pike Road is just a pretty strong opponent. So,
yeah, no doubt.
you know, and the other teams, I got to give you some scores. I don't know if you've given them yet or not, but I'd like to give scores from 2 other games around here. Some teams that never see much love, but Fairfield got beat tonight by Leeds 26-0. I believe it was 26-0. And then West Blockton got handled by Hanley Tigers 46-6. So, but the other team that we've been following around here is Hueytown. Wow, I know that's y'all's home team down there, but wow, they really turned it on.
Yeah, Hueytown looked good, no question. Seth Holloway from the Cutoff News joining us. Seth, thank you for the time, my friend.
Yeah, no problem. Y'all have a wonderful night down there, all right?
Thank you, buddy. You too.
Seth Holloway and all of our guests join us on the Southeastern Land Group hotline, whether you're buying or selling rural land in the Southeast. Southeastern Land Group is the place to start. Visit selandgroup.com. Again, 35-30, when you get that kind of game, you know, and you're covering it, it just makes the job so much better because you get that kind of game, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun that, you know, that's the Hueytown BRHS game tonight. Was so fun. I mean, throughout. There wasn't a time you can stop and daydream or anything. I mean, it was a lot of scoring. Now, Hueytown went on to double them up, I understand, but even when that was happening, it was all interesting.
Yeah, oh no, no doubt. Let's get into scores on the fours, brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Back through the brackets, if you're just joining us, listen up. 7A, Luke.
In 7A, it was Dothan defeating Foley 42-28. Auburn takes care of Fairhope 35-17. Central Phoenix City 58-7 over Mary Montgomery. Enterprise 35, Baker 26. Hoover over Bob Jones 45-19. Hewitt Trustful, they take down Florence 38-20. Vestavia Hills, man, are we sleeping on Vestavia Hills? They win 52-10 over Austin, and Thompson shuts out Huntsville 34-0.
In the 6A bracket, we'll start in the south where Hillcrest Tuscaloosa defeats Calera 38-0. Saraland over Wetumpka 48-14. Homewood over McAdory, the game we just talked about, 35-30. Pike Road with a comeback win over Spanish Fort 22-21. It was St. Paul shutting out Carver Montgomery tonight 13-0. Pelham over Northridge 44-14. Theodore over Sidney Lanier 35-20. Hueytown over Benjamin Russell 56-28. Let me say this, Theodore Hueytown next week, worth the price of admission.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
In the 6A bracket north, Gadsden City over Coleman 41-24. Mountain Brook over Pinson Valley 44-7. Hartselle over Buckhorn 52-7. Centerpoint over Jackson Olin 26-8. Parker in the upset of the night takes out the defending 6A champs Clay Chalkville 7-6. Muscle Shoals over Hazel Green 58-7. Gardendale over Oxford 31-14. And Decatur over Fort Payne 31-8. Scores on the fours brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. Grady Sapp joins us next. We'll talk Jacksonville and Bibb County coming up.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Lineville Health and Rehab in Lineville, Alabama has a staff and has had a staff of caring folks for years. If it has come that time in life for that person in your family to look at the possibility of going into a health and rehab facility, you have a choice. You have a choice to choose, and the fine folks at Lineville Health and Rehab would like to take this time to invite you by to meet them and them you. Caring folks that care for you and your family. You have a choice. The number to call is 256-396-2104.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, call 256-329-6736.
At Brew Baker, it's a brand new day. Go, Brew Baker, go. So come on down and drive away. Go, Brew Baker, go. From our dealership to your driveway. Go, Brew Baker, go. Brew Baker's gonna make your day.
Save some time and shop online anytime at brewbaker.com.
It's better at brewbaker.com. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. JJ and Luke with you. Let's go back to the Southeastern Land Group hotline now. We're going to talk to our buddy Grady Sapp, WDNG in Anniston, Alabama, where he does play-by-play for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. They get a win tonight on the road against a good Bibb County team, 35-28. Grady, sounds like a very entertaining game.
JJ, it was an outstanding ball game, and Bibb County's a tough place to win. That's the third trip I've made down there covering a team. That's the first time that the team I was covering went down there and won. And Bibb County came out, opened up the scoring, led it 7-0. Shut Jacksonville down really in that first quarter. Jacksonville came back and tied it, and then really had a great chance with a big momentum swing. They had an interception deep in Bibb County territory, but they get a holding penalty as they're inside the 5-yard line, end up missing a field goal, got nothing out of it. Bibb County drives back down the field and takes a 13-7 lead after a missed extra point. Bibb County gets another chance. They had a good drive late in the first half to the Jacksonville inside the 20, around the 10, maybe even got down to the 5-yard line. They miss a field goal, and so they go to halftime only up 6, but they come out and return the opening kickoff in the third quarter. Bibb County returns it 80-plus yards for a touchdown. Simmons kid returned it. Go for 2 and make up the missed extra point. They have it 21-7. Jacksonville, though, comes back and actually has a nice drive to score. Then they get a scoop and score on a fumble in Jacksonville territory when Bibb County's quarterback Downs rolled out to try to make a pass. They hit it from behind, scoop and score for the touchdown, tie it up. And, Jacksonville had momentum, but then it was Bibb County coming right back down the field with a backup quarterback, score on a 4th down pass in the end zone and take the lead back. But then after that, Jacksonville with a nice drive. They tie it back up and then get the ball back after a defensive stop with 5 minutes left in the ball game and march at 57 yards. Take their only lead of the ball game with 2.5 seconds left when G. Turner goes over from 2 yards out on 3rd and goal. And for G. Turner, star of the show tonight for Jacksonville, carried the ball 30 times, 165 yards on the ground, 2 passes for 48 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night, including the game clincher with 2.5 seconds left.
Wow, my goodness. I mean, 2.5 seconds left with the game clincher. That's awesome. All right, so talk about going forward. What's going to happen next week here?
Well, next weekend, Jacksonville will be at home since they travel this week, and they get Montgomery Catholic coming into town. So
congratulations.
That'll be a very tough matchup with how good Montgomery Catholic is, but it is at least nice to get them at home next weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Look, if you need every advantage you can get, that's a good squad.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. And, hey, the region Jacksonville's come out of, you've got Anniston, you got Handley, you got Jacksonville. 3 of those teams won tonight, and Munford gave American Christian all they wanted, the 4th seed. So, tough region, and, you always got to tee the ball up and let's see what happens, even though Montgomery Catholic comes in as one of the better teams in the state.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because Jacksonville finishes the season as the third team in their region, but the 6th-ranked team in 4A in the state. So it tells you a little bit about that region. Certainly battle-tested. Grady, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck next week, my friend.
All right, guys. Thanks very much for having me.
All right.
See you, buddy.
Hey, we're really good. We're number 6 in the state. Really? So you won your region? No, we got Handley and Anniston to deal with, Yeah, so congratulations again to Jacksonville. They will host Montgomery Catholic next week, and that'll be one I think is worth paying attention to.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
There's a lot of. We're gonna go through that coming up in the next segment. We're gonna talk about big ticket games, right? Maybe we pick one game in each classification that we want to go see if we could coming up next week. So we'll get to that. Also coming up here in just a little while, we got to talk a little college ball as well. And I am curious about one thing in 4A. I want to get your thoughts on this, Luke. Catholic Montgomery last year, we all remember what happened, right? They get knocked out. They get routed out of the playoffs. Does that help them this year? Keep focus? Anything like that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you say it like that, it's almost like it was a good thing that they got
right. But it's never a good thing. But
I know, and you just hate to admit that getting your doors blown off is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think it can serve as motivation. Look, whenever something happens, a coach is always looking for a piece of motivation. If you win the title and go undefeated, coaches are like, they don't think you can defend it, you know. But if you get routed, it's pretty easy to have something to motivate your team around.
No question. Let's go to scores on the 4s, the 5A bracket, Luke.
5A South, it was Central Clay having no problem with Holtville, just 50-0. Gulf Shores 42-0 over Carroll. Demopolis 48-28. They defeat Elmore County. Eufaula falls to Faith Academy 21-15. Charles Henderson 20 and Williamson 16. Tallahassee takes down Selma 49-16. UMS Wright 56-13 over Headland. Beauregard over Marbury 35-10. Russellville over Boaz 63-10. And Pleasant Grove takes out Alexandria 43-14. Arab no problem with East Limestone 54-14. Moody over Jasper 29-21. Leeds 39, Fairfield 13. Scottsboro defeats Brewer 45-14. Ramsey, they take down Southside Gadsden 61-25. And finally, Gunnersville 24 and Fairview 13.
In the 4A bracket South, we'll see if I can get done with it. Anniston over Sipsey Valley 52-0. Booker T. Washington over Orange Beach 46-43 in a classic. American Christian over Munford 16-13. Andalusia defeats Jackson 25-10. Catholic Montgomery 41-13 over Bayside Academy. Jacksonville over Bibb County 35-28. T.R. Miller over Montgomery Academy 41-13. It was Handley over West Blockton 46-6. In the 4A bracket north, Priceville over Central Florence, 49-28. Aniana over Haleyville, 56-14. Deschler over Madison County, 68-34. Etowah over Northside, 42-21. Cherokee County takes down Corner, 47-10. West Morgan over Westminster Christian, 27-7. Dora over Good Hope, 34-6. And Randolph over Rogers, 54-8. Scores on the fours brought to you by Wickedly Delicious Wickles Pickles. More coming up. Hang on.
Hello, my name is Dave Milton with Southeastern Land Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. We sell farmland and timberland in Alabama and the surrounding states. Not only do we have a land sales division, but we also have a timber sales division where we can help you with your timber sales and your timber appraisals. There's 22 of us in our group scattered throughout the southeastern United States. We are a full-service land and timber sales company. We do with farmland, timberland, cattle property, poultry farms. 866-751-LAND. Go to the website, selandgroup.com.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles